Welcome back, tribe. Got another one here from FB Capital. Part 2 of the rise of passport bros. Get into it.
Here's the thing about being a single plus-size woman having to deal with fat phobia and things like
Look in my eyes, you seeing victory. We ain't taking L's, death to our enemies.
Even better, it doesn't even look like Bali.
You cannot stop me. Sit back and watch me straight to the top. Blue water.
You can enjoy days like this.
I'm home. Yeah, I can be independent. Yes, I do it all on my own as a single mom.
Where are we finding men now?
I want a man to fucking show up so I can be soft.
Yeah. Damn, that looks nice.
And I'm so sick of waiting. I just want love in my life so bad.
No matter what opposition that you bring, I will be standing because I am the king. I am the lion. This is my jungle, like a gorilla, ready to rumble.
Just for this point in my life, like, it just feels like Jesus.
I'm literally on the verge of crying.
I'm literally on the verge of tears. Yet another situationship has ended.
I've been trying to meet someone, just anybody worth my time for years.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've been left behind.
After 3 years of living in Southeast Asia,
thankful to be out here.
Living the dream that I'm so lucky to live.
I am done being an independent. Look at the state of me.
I've decided I am no longer a strong, independent woman that needs no man.
I was like, I weigh 220 pounds. But the thing is, I wear my weight very well.
I think there might be some better options. This is my obey.
Oh my god, the view is ridiculous.
Don't want to be single anymore. And
I will be 33 next month.
I'm fine. I need...
guys, you gotta leave the West.
Go where you're treated best.
I love that. Before he gets into it, I have a message to read. I screenshot it and I'm going to post it on the community right after this episode. So a guy writes to me, "Oh, I've been a big follower of your channel and the whole how women love men overseas and the femininity and beauty is so true. Thank you for the advice you give out there. As far as I can see, the USA is no comparison to these other countries. I'm in the Philippines and I love it. Once again, thank you. Because if it wasn't for your channel, I wouldn't have taken the risk traveling alone." Shout outs to you, my brother. I see you. I'll hide your name when I post it on the community page. It's working, boys. Finish it. Yes, boys. We are back with part 2 of Passport Bros. Finally, I know I promised part 2 a long time ago, but you know, sometimes it's a bit difficult behind the scenes here to get certain videos out. So please forgive me for that. By the way, this is FB Capital. If you haven't, please subscribe to his channel. Show him some love. He takes a long ass time to edit videos like this. So don't just watch it on my channel. Go subscribe to his. Watch it directly on his. One of the few guys I love supporting. I've talked to him on, I think, on Twitter and IG to collab. One day when he has some time and if the stars line up, we are close by on the same continent. But anyways, we are back and we are jumping straight in where we left off in part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go check it out first, then come back to part 2. Otherwise, some things might not make a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, you're going Dutch? Oh! Yeah, I think it's just, I think it's both.
By the way, if you are feeling the Passport Bros series, then smash that like button and let me know in the comment section if you want more of these. Anyways, enough waffling, let's get to it. So clearly, modern women absolutely hate Passport Bros because unlike men, these modern women in the West really have nowhere else to go since they all practice fake feminism.
Like paying a bill 50-50 is bullshit.
They should pay for everything.
Men should always pay.
I don't care how much money I ever make, I still want my man to pay for everything.
Yeah, real equal. And so this ability for men to simply ignore Western women, opt out of dating apps, and escape to countries where the majority of women are still feminine and kind is really starting to anger a lot of modern women.
Passport bros be, first of all, predators.
I think going abroad, they go for women who are more vulnerable.
Okay, let's talk about passport bros. So the only women they'll be getting are the ones that they're paying for.
Now what's ironic here is that this lady, Jessica, who is a massive hater of Passport Bros, is actually a passport sis herself.
That made me decide to go to Italy today. If you've ever been
to
the Balkans, you know what I'm talking about, and it's all men. But yeah, you can't really expect that type of chivalry that I have found in other countries. Even in the ones that I love, that I prefer to date in, like Italy, The passport brain movement is more American male toxicity.
Yep. Classic big fat hypocritical feminist. Traveling all over the world to meet men, but then cry about it when men do the very same thing, only a lot better. Anyways, not only is Jessica here traveling all over Europe trying to find a great guy, she's not exactly having any luck with it.
German men, I felt, were very similar to American men. They want to go 50-50. If they do pay, they're definitely expecting
equality,
something.
baby.
Don't give
What's
them
wrong?
something, there's some resentment. Is with the men these days sitting on the, kind of sitting on the outskirts.
Hey, look, let's have a real conversation here. Your attractiveness is not high enough to demand anything of men. I'm being completely honest. If she was a stunner 10 out of 10, men would be falling head over heels, paying for her shit, opening her door, absolutely funding everything. When you're a beautiful woman, you get certain privileges. In the West, they call it pretty privilege. She has to be down in the trenches with the boys, negotiating for attraction, for trinkets, for dinners, for, hold the door open, pull my seat out. That's what happens when you're not attractive. You got to negotiate with other things. Unfortunately, the only thing most women have to negotiate with is how fast they give up the kitty. That's about all you can do. Men can negotiate with money and how much time and attention he wants to give. And, you got a little bit of leeway as a man in terms of negotiating if you're not that good looking. But women don't have much, bro. If you're not attractive as a woman, the only thing you got is what's in between your legs to negotiate with. A man doesn't care about your career, doesn't care about your money, doesn't care about your status. How easy is it for me to get in between those legs? Being brutally honest. You're having trouble dating all over the world in the West and in Europe because men don't find you attractive.
Waiting for women to make the first. I don't like it, y'all. And this is universal. I'm even finding Italian men doing this.
Who's the common denominator?
Yeah, definitely not a great idea to go to Europe if you don't want to do 50-50.
You go on that first date and the woman pays for you?
Yeah, it's fine for me.
In fact, as a Dutchie myself, we do not try to impress women with fancy cars to pick them up from a date. No, we show up on bicycles and she can hop on.
Oh, yeah.
Or she can just meet us at the bar or the restaurant. We Dutchies really don't care how she gets there, just as long as she gets there on time. We really do care about that. And so you see, this proves what I've been saying, which is that modern women are all trapped in their own bullshit, leaving them with nowhere to go. Because nowhere outside of America are men going to cater to this nonsense, and on top of that, more and more American men are now waking up to the fact that there is a whole world out there where women actually like men.
Ray is cooking up an absolute storm. You're cooking 3 Filipino dishes today. 4 Filipino yes,
Dessert.
There's a 4th dish, a Filipino dessert. Yeah.
I told you.
And you can live like a king for as low as $1,000 a month.
Just like $500 per month.
The cost of living is fantastic. You can get nice places for $500-600 a month.
This is what $500 a month can get you in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yep, that's right guys. All you really need to get started as a passport bro is just
Bro, just imagine, $1,000 or $2,000 a month. And that's if you want to live in those luxury high rises with a pool, with a sauna, with a tennis club, with jacuzzis, with everything gyms, everything you could want is in there. They have all the amenities for you. That's $500, $700. Highest end one goes for $1,000 a month. And that's penthouse level shit. Dude, $300-400, you can do well as far as rent on a spot. You only need to really make $1,500 to $2,000 a month in some of these countries. A lot of guys are already doing this remotely. I don't have the answer for you because that depends on your skill set. But you need to be out there Googling, researching how to do remote work, what skills you can leverage to get into a remote business. $1,500 to $2,000 a month remote income isn't impossible, especially as Westerners.
$1,000 of online income and some good SPF protection from all the sun you'll be getting. So now that men in the West are waking up and they're saying we are done with the games and these stupid dating apps and are now discovering new and better worlds, the women in the West are actually finding this out the hard way, and it's not pretty.
I'm tired of
the dating scene. There's a lot of pressure, right? This is economics here. The demand and supply. The supply of men is dwindling, yet the demand remains the same, actually increasing. Women want a certain type of man, and that demand is now shared by all women because of the general delusion. And so there's not enough of those guys to go around. Even worse now. I mean, we're at a national shortage of good men because they're all either cuffed or a lot of them are thinking, I'm going to play the field and get me something foreign when I'm ready to settle down. So a lot of these women are getting either pumped and dumped by Chads with absolutely never having a shot of ever locking this guy down, or going to be completely crying on TikTok, frustrated that there's no good men left. Because even the beta bomb, the average dudes, the invisibles that women were ignoring the entire time, those guys aren't even giving attention anymore. They checked out the game because they seen how stacked the cards are against them. And two, they go, shit, I found a plan B option. I can escape this hellscape, this hellhole, by going overseas and finding me a decent woman. And there are millions of dudes. Well, I don't know millions, but there will be a total of millions in the next 10 years of dudes just going overseas and finding them a woman. You don't have to play the game as a man. You can hit pause, leave, go somewhere else, and start over. It's not the same. Women from the West that have Western attributes, that have these feminist qualities, don't do well overseas. Yes, sex is easy universally for women. Sure, they can get laid in Italy. They can get laid in Spain and Germany and all this. But no guy is trying to cuff an American woman. No guy's trying to cuff some Swedish woman. Yes, the only thing the Swedes have is that they're drop dead gorgeous, like tall, blonde, blue eyes. But even they're insufferable, and the Swedish men are just going and grabbing Thai ladies that make really nice wives. Come on, man. And then all they do is they become the thing they rail against men. Sex tourism. They end up going to like Jamaica, to like Ghana, to Dominican Republic, to all these sex hotspots that these old women, because they're all going to be post 30, some 40, 50 something years old, trying to get down with some young buck on the beach that's only hitting it for paperwork. It's crazy. Meanwhile, the guys are actually going overseas and getting married and settling down and having families and kids. And the women genuinely love older men anyways with more experience and more money. Bro, the game is brutal. You can't beat men at this. You can't. Time is not on your side.
Dating game.
Yeah, I got ready for no reason.
I've been single for 7 years. Like, I deserve someone to share.
You deserve nothing.
With.
I deserve somebody. I deserve to find somebody.
You deserve nothing. You bring nothing to the table. You have to work for it and offer somebody something in return in order to keep you around. It's no longer as easy as spreading your legs, getting a man's attention, getting pumped and dumped. That's all spreading your legs does. You deserve a one-night stand if you open your legs to a man quickly. That's it. You want to keep a man long-term, you better go ask your grandma, if she's still around, how she kept your granddaddy. You better go ask married women that have been successful for multiple years being married with multiple kids. Better ask them how they're keeping their man and their marriage together. You're getting advice from bozos online who literally are perpetually getting pumped and dumped, crying on TikTok saying men ain't this, men ain't that. And then you get sucked up in that delusion. And then all of a sudden you're starting to exhibit the same behaviors that are keeping good men away from you. This is all self-imposed problems.
I'm 30 and beginning to think that this whole dying alone thing isn't going to be like a running joke. It's going to be reality.
I used to talk so much shit about girls who settled, and now I hope to become one.
Yeah, now they want to settle. Not so funny anymore, huh? When men are no longer playing along and you have to deal with the consequences of your action. Which is why modern women will now try to scare dudes into not dating foreign women.
They're going to use you. They're going to treat you worse than American women. They have higher expectations.
Because according to them, these foreign women simply do not speak English and are too stupid to understand you.
The Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education.
They don't know what's available to them.
The standards are a little lower over there because most of the women come from poverty, right?
It is truly amazing how no one will ever be more condescending to women than a feminist, since these women are basically comparing foreign women to monkeys that can't read or write. Like, hello, do you realize that half the planet pretty much speaks or at least understands basic English? And if you've ever dated in Italy or Spain,
not only do they speak English, but they speak multiple languages. And not only do they speak multiple languages, they're most likely already college educated. In a lot of these countries, college is free. They go to school for free. They have advanced degrees. They actually have brains. They're not getting indoctrinated in certain ideologies and questioning what's in between their legs. Not in this side of the world, at least, and not in the rest.
Then you know that women in the Philippines and other Asian countries are actually much better at speaking English than many Italian or Spanish women. As a matter of fact, they speak better English than whatever the hell this is.
So I don't want to talk at night. Is that it? You're supposed to be best friend. What do you want to tell us?
Oh lord. Anyways, let's actually pull
Like
up
birds.
the official global index for English proficiency to see what's going on. Boom, the Dutchies are rocking the #1 spot, awesome. But in second
Congrats.
place already, you find Singapore. And at number 15, still classified as high proficiency, you find Romania. Followed by a whole bunch of Eastern European countries, which by the way is a great alternative to Southeast Asia if you are not into Asian women.
Yes, sir. Here we go. It's on. Race war.
Yes, I know, nowadays in Snowflake land, race is such an incredible touchy subject, and even just mentioning a type is now considered white supremacy or racism. But in this channel, we do not give a fuck, okay? Because men like what they like. It's as simple as that.
It would be with like a busty blonde or an Asian with pointy nipples.
Exactly, Ari. I mean, let's be honest. We are talking, after all, about traveling abroad to find a better life and start dating better women. So yeah, what those women look like and if you are attracted to them plays a huge role. Anyways, back to the proficiency index, where we see that at number 20, the Philippines still sits 15 spots above Spain and Italy at number 35. So clearly, you can find plenty of women in both Asia and Eastern Europe who speak English at a very high level.
Living here in Eastern Europe for the year now, over a year, I could tell you that you could have, if all I knew how to speak was English, I could get by no problem. Absolutely zero issues. The proficiency of English here is extremely high, like he was mentioning. It's maybe 15 on the list, but to give you an idea, it's conversational. People can have full-blown conversation and actually know all the words they're trying to get out. Not like basic broken English that you may run into the further you get out from, say, the capitals into like the countrysides, obviously, where they don't have a lot of access to foreigners coming around. But you go to any regional cities or capitals, everybody speaks English. Everybody can conversate with you. And at the bare minimum, they know enough to get by and transact what they need to transact business-wise. Grocery stores or gas stations or, trains or any type of transportation, gyms, whatever it is, dude. I guarantee you will have no problem in Eastern Europe with English. All the English bros who have traveled around here will tell you, not an issue. And if they're your type of women, the like Slavic women, Balkan in general, Eastern European, you like your women taller, a little bit slender or thicker in some areas. It depends, more busty, yada, yada. We got a mix of everything here. You can find whatever you want. All sorts of hair color combinations, eye color combinations. It's all preference. Some bros like the Asian women. Some bros like the Eastern European women. You take your choice. It's much cheaper in Asia than it is in Eastern Europe. And the prices here are rapidly rising. I could tell you that right now. You may be shocked in a capital like Bucharest when you come to Romania. The stereotypical what you think Romania looks like will absolutely shock you. It's extremely clean. It's extremely safe. And there seems to be money coming out the wazoo. You will not expect to see these many nice cars, these many nice new buildings being built, construction going on all over the place. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's past Berlin in GDP, Athens in GDP, and a couple other big European capitals in GDP. This is just talking Bucharest specifically, but you could go to other regional power cities within the country for a better cost of living. And English proficiency would be all the same. Same with all the other countries.
Level, making dating abroad a lot easier. But not only do plenty of foreign women speak English, their countries also have these magical buildings.
Hello everyone. Hi.
Schools.
My name is...
Although it's interesting, we may have to touch up on this one day. I think we should. Where a passport bro should go to find, say, love, to get married, to start a family. I think if you don't want to risk getting fetishized or picked based on your skin color, like how white guys do well in Asia or in South America simply because they're white, or the black passport bros that go to countries and get fetishized for black stereotype, things like that. If you want to avoid that and find maybe what you consider in your mind true love, we might have to talk about how some of the guys that want kids that look like them, which is completely natural and normal, but then you're right, that maybe if you're a black passport bro, you go to good parts of Africa. If you're a white passport bro, you go to good parts of Eastern Europe or wherever in Europe. And if you're a Asian passport bro, you might want to go to parts of Asia and have a family that looks more like you, and the love may be more real because it's common. Look, For me, being a kid that was raised partially in Eastern Europe and have a Balkan upbringing, and there's certain things about our culture, there's certain things about our food, about how we carry ourselves, family, friends, etc., that makes it much easier for me to meld and mesh with my partner that would also be from this side of the world. And I don't get fetishized for my skin color because I'm just one of them. Now, those are some of the same things you'll experience as an Asian passport bro going to Asian countries, where the cultures around the general area are similar enough that integrating isn't difficult. Same with the black passport bros. Some that I've talked to that went to Africa and found beautiful black women that they dated, and the love they said was the strongest there, the most real. It just felt right. So some of the guys I know are just going to some of these touristy hotspots like Thailand and whatever, and they're having their fun because of the red light districts, and it's, super cheap, and you're just getting your rocks off. But a conversation that we probably should have is, where is it best to go if we're speaking long-term family building mentality? And I do think skin color does matter in that equation, but that's just me. Let me know if you think so in the comments below.
It's Jack. I'm from Australia, moving into the IT class. Let's go. Hello, students. How are you? So even the king has set up coding for kids, which, is so important these days.
Called high schools and universities, where they actually learn
Almost every Mexican girl I've gone out with here is well educated. They have a high paying job. They're like an engineer or a supply chain manager or a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah. So you're not dating some savage from a remote village,
women that don't have education,
cut off completely from modern technology. No, you're actually dating a regular woman who has a job or is studying or even does volunteer work.
Have you been to parties or found yourself ever in a really bad neighborhood?
Yeah, I work in a favela in Brazil.
Wow, you worked in the favela.
Yeah.
Wow, what were you doing in the favela?
I was volunteering for kids.
It's an angel over here. That's amazing.
Simply beautiful. And a big change from dating in the West, where the village toad has the audacity to demand hundreds of dollars so that you can be graced by her royal presence.
Here are some things I expect a man to pay for while I'm dating him or we're in a relationship. Dates. My nails to be done, my conditioners, my leave-ins. Eventually, you're gonna have to pay my rent.
Yeah, this is what you call not knowing your worth. But anyways, dating overseas in a lot of these countries is truly going back in time with old school values in a modern world, where women are simply dating with intent and not just to cure their boredom for when Chad is finally done banging some other girl.
Another big cultural difference is the level of flakiness. This was such a big frustration for me in the US because it seemed like about half of the dates that I would schedule, they would cancel on me. Whereas here in Mexico, once I have a date scheduled, there's like a 90% chance that that's going to happen.
You see, these foreign women are not some poor little village girl needing super gringo to come and save her, but she's actually just living a normal life and she's happy to stay in her own country. Which actually makes it more likely that when you find someone to date, she's not dating you for your money or a green card, since a lot of these women do not want to leave their families. Now,
That's
obviously,
true.
women that...
Man, that is so true. When I was coming to Romania initially, I was like, wow, I'm about to meet some girls that all they want to do is get a green card, come to the United States. That's the dream of every immigrant. I was shocked when almost nobody would entertain the idea of going back to the United States with me. I always ask the question, what do you think? Would you ever live in the United States? A lot of them say, I don't even want to visit. What? That's what I heard. In my year being here, a lot of women in general say they wouldn't even want to visit. That should tell you enough about America's PR problems in the rest of the world. It's crazy how far we've fallen.
Want to exploit you do exist over there. And yes, if you're being an idiot, you can easily be taken advantage of. But how is that any different from your life in the West?
They should pay for everything.
Men should always pay.
I mean, in the West, plenty of women are taking advantage of men on a massive scale, where the majority of women are simply using men for attention and money, and are even...
Yeah, if women were a company, they'd be maximizing short-term profits right now instead of long-term gains. That's what they're sacrificing. So this is going to blow back on them so hard that this is seriously going to be off-putting a mass percentage of men dating in the West, and they're going to call it quits complete. It's going to get so bad for them. But by 2040, 45% of women will be single or have no man. That number is going to skyrocket, bro. It's going to be like 60, 70% of women won't have a man. They'll be having sex, sharing the same whatever pool of available bachelors, but nobody can claim a man. And no man would want to claim them. The dating pool is going to get so skewed in the favor of those top percentile men. It's going to cause havoc, man. It's going to be nuts to watch unfold. And the other men at the bottom, that would be the targets, the simps, they're going to be too inundated with the new AI robot girlfriends to pay attention to any woman anymore. They're going to get their needs met by lines of code. And then they're going to put that shit in a sex bot. And it's going to have the latest skin and the latest robotic movement and all. It's game over. What is there left for women to choose from at that point?
Even dating multiple men at the same time. So let's not pretend that men are only going to be taken advantage of when they go overseas. This is completely ridiculous. At least overseas, you have far more women to choose from that actually want to date with intent, since it's still embedded in the culture. While in the West, you can choose from all the wonderful women who are bragging about not wanting to have kids. Seriously, as if modern women weren't unappealing enough, now they don't even want to have kids, meaning there's literally no reason to date them. And so not only are you more likely to find women that actually want kids when you go overseas, it's also a lot easier and cheaper to start a family in most of these countries.
To the left, you can see what looks like a baby orangutan, but it's actually my son Teddy. Raising a family in Philippines is a lot more affordable and a lot more accessible than back home.
Now before I wrap up this video, I need to debunk one more absolutely disgusting tactic that so many women are using to hate on passport bros, which is the allegation of tourism.
The part about the passport bros that nobody wants to mention is a lot of these men are actually going overseas to underage girls.
Yeah, those are not passport bros, you absolute moron. Because older men in their 50s and 60s traveling to certain Asian and African countries for girls and boys, mind you, of a particular age range has been going on for decades and already has a name. It's called tourism by pedophiles, and it was going on way before the passport bro movement even became a thing. So looping that group of degenerates into the passport bro movement is just sick, and yet again proves my point about modern women always trying to criminalize normal male behavior that they don't like. Because the concept of passport bros is a direct consequence of a totally f***ed up dating market in the West caused by dating apps, social media, and feminism. And it has nothing to do with that kind of depravity. This also takes us to one of the darker sides of being a passport bro, and for some reason modern women really seem to take pleasure from this, and that is passport bros who ended up dead.
Passport bros are getting killed. Try doing better, okay?
Know that those actions are now coming with consequences.
Geez, I wonder why men are running away from these women. They seem so lovely, right? Now don't be alarmed by this news of passport bros dying in Colombia, since this is all easily avoidable. And it all comes down to following some basic common sense steps. Because first of all, you simply don't have to go to Colombia. Since even though Colombia is very popular,
and those guys that were getting targeted were absolutely thinking with their bottom head, not their top head. And they were being very stupid by going to or inviting the girls directly to their place, not guarding their drinks. You have women that are beautiful. You're not used to this attention. They're coming on to you very hard. You can't help but be like, wow, dude, I'm about to have a threesome. There's two chicks that want to come back to my place. All of a sudden, you black out and you wake up with nothing, or your organs are missing. You don't wake up at all. It's very, very easy to avoid being a mark if you use some logic. In the comments, no hymen, no diamond. We Dutchies don't care how she gets there as long as she gets there on time. I'm a passport bro, but I did it before I had a name. I've been living in South America for 30 years, and I've been married for 20. Live in Argentina. My wife is highly intelligent, educated. She treats me like a king, calls me her king, and I call her my queen. My previous exes in Australia, most of them have been divorced 2 to 3 times since I left. Sooner or later, some guy gets tired of their shit. The I deserve kills me. People laughing at Village Toad. I like Cave Troll, but Village Toad works. Spanish man here, don't come to Spain searching for wives. Women here are like American women, but they speak Spanish. That's not that different. Get your passport, learn a skill, spend your money in another country like your government does with your taxes. Find good people who aren't addicted to social media and the rest of the world. Indeed. What's going on, imagine? Women should ditch the cat and adopt a bear, grizzle. Sheesh. We'll see you guys on the next one.